Well, those of you who have been watching football between the Giants in New England and the Cowboys and the Falcons, we welcome you back to our studio in New York, everyone. Along with Terry Bradshaw, I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's run down the scores and highlights for you. Beginning with the game at Fulton County Stadium, which the Cowboys need to get into the playoffs today. They would like to go in on a winning note, but the Falcons lead it by a score of 7-0 at halftime. And, of course, all of the pressure is on Babe Laufenberg, and a lot of pressure from the blitz.
Well, all day long, every time the Cowboys have gone to the pass, what the Falcons have done is blitz Laufenberg, and right now the offensive linemen are totally confused, and this is something the Falcons will continue to do, Greg, until Laufenberg picks it up.
Tracy Johnson, a one-yard touchdown run for the only score, and take a look at how it is at Champions in New Orleans. Tommy Barnhart, John Forcade, and Morton Anderson looking on. The biggest Falcons fans in the world right about now, aren't they? It is 7-0 in favor of the Falcons at halftime. They're also at halftime at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The Bengals needing a win today to make the playoffs. They lead the Cleveland Browns by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. As they approach halftime, it is now halftime in Miami. The Dolphins leading the Colts 16-14. Jeff George has thrown a couple of touchdown passes, including a 63-yarder to Jesse Hester, but the Colts trailed by 2. Halftime at RFK Stadium in Washington, the Redskin defense has shut the Bills down while Chip Lohmiller has kicked 3 field goals. Buffalo's turned the ball over twice, 9-0 Redskins. Halftime at New England, the game some of you are watching here on CBS, and the Giants are leading the Patriots by a score of 13-10. Now the Giants drove 60 yards in 10 plays, and Jeff Hostetler finds Dave Meggett out of the backfield for 17 yards and a touchdown. And that made it 7-0 Giants, but back came the Patriots with a long bomb from Tommy Hudson.
All this is simple. 3 defensive backs covering 2 wide receivers, and the safety elects to double the slot. Fryer gets by the corner, says, I think I have help. He didn't have any help over top. Fryer gets by him. Easy touchdown.
Barr's field goal as time wound down in the first half has the Giants on top by 3. And San Francisco at Minnesota as they approach halftime. 1 minute to play in the half. The Vikings leading the 49ers by a score of 10-0. The game's lone touchdown from Herschel Walker.
Well, all you got to do is get Herschel outside, let him square up his shoulders, and then he's extremely hard to bring down, running over everyone.
Seems to me someone even predicted that the 49ers could lose to the Vikings today.
Who could that be, Greg?
We'll remind you, this is a doubleheader day of NFL action here on CBS. Coming up in our late games, some of you will see the Green Bay Packers play the Denver Broncos. Most will see the Detroit Lions play the Seattle Seahawks. And Seattle remains alive for the final AFC wildcard. With more on this matchup, we go to Vern Lundquist in the Emerald City.
The Seattle Seahawks can qualify as the 3rd AFC wildcard team, but first a couple of things have to happen. They must beat the guys who will wear these uniforms, the Detroit Lions, and then sit back and hope that Pittsburgh defeats Houston tonight. So how does Chuck Knox approach this game?
Well, our posture is we have to have a fine focus on the things that we have control over. The only thing we have control over is an opportunity against the Detroit Lions. And certainly Barry Sanders will be a guy that we have to be concerned about. I think he's the best running back in the National Football League at this point.
And how concerned are the Seahawks about Barry Sanders? Well, every NFL team has a locker room bulletin board. In Seattle's, every item concerns Barry Sanders.
I'm able to see and use my peripheral vision, where a lot of guys are who tend to be more of what they call a straight-ahead runner, who has his focus on just one set target. And I think I'm looking more a lot of times to make people miss and maybe the easy way out or to try to run around someone. So I'm trying to just utilize my options instead of just picking one set thing and sticking with that.
Barry Sanders is going for the NFL rushing title this afternoon. Last night, John Madden, who joins me for the broadcast, said Sanders is the best running back he's never seen in person. He gets his first chance today. Now let's go back to New York.
All right, Vern, and Seattle can also clinch a wild card if the Seahawks win and Cleveland upsets Cincinnati. And the NFL Today on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
He can't be seen.
You mean an invisible man?
He can't be stopped. Has the Flash finally met his match? Thursday. The undying bonds of friendship.
It ain't dying I'm talking about. It's living.
The enduring power of love.
I knew I'd never be able to keep him at home.
Sacrificed for the American dream.
They say you're a man of vision.
Hell of a vision.
America returns to Lonesome Dove, January 20th on CBS.
This is CBS.
In order to better serve our viewers in some of the outlying areas of Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada, KBCI Channel 2 signal is rebroadcast on these translators.
People across America are coming home to Dodge full-size pickups. Dodge half-ton pickups have the longest powertrain warranty in the business.
It has the power to tow, and horsepower is the first thing I look for. It's like a tough, durable truck.
Dodge Ram pickups have ranked highest in customer satisfaction of all full-size pickups for 2 years running, and can get $3,200 in total savings on a well-equipped full-size pickup.
Yeah, we compared, and we came running right back to a Dodge dealer.
See a Treasure Valley Dodge dealer now.
I just saved a lot of money at the IRS. No, IRS, Inventory Reduction Sale at Vixar Waterbeds.
You'll be happy, too, when you see how we've cut prices on overstocked, one-of-a-kind, selected floor model and scratch-and-dent waterbeds and bedroom furniture. But hurry for best selection to our once-a-year IRS. Shop New Year's noon to 7. Vixar Waterbeds, America's largest. Fairview at Cole in the Westgate 1 Shopping Center in Boise.
Channel 2 Eyewitness News continues to expand its team of news professionals. Beginning January 7th, A.K. Leinhardt joins Phil Amato and Kimberly Van Scoy every weeknight, providing you with Idaho's best local news coverage.
And I'm proud to be part of the Channel 2 Eyewitness News team.
Matt Biondi, Eyewitness News.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys go to the playoffs with a victory here today, but at halftime they trail the Falcons because of Tracy Johnson's one-yard touchdown run. We'll be back right after this.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre Champagne for the holidays and all year long.
For me, it's the perfect truck.
Jim Oddballs had a Ford Ranger.
It will handle a load. It will get up and move.
Brian Thompson came home from Toyota.
I like the Dodge Dakota the best.
The mid-sized Dakota, now available with V8 power for less money than a 4-liter V6 Ford Ranger.
There's no substitute for cubic inches.
Welcome home, America. Come see what we're made of.
I bought the Dodge. Just feels like quality.
Get total savings up to $3,400 on Dodge Dakota.
2 brave men sworn to save these refugees.
I will get you out of here.
The State Department cannot do that.
Inspired by the events of a heroic rescue.
I just want my husband back.
Gerald McCraney, Michael Gross.
The plane will be here.
Vestige of Honor, tonight. Now it's time for a hero.
Trouble breaks out, people still turn to you.
It's time for Lee Horsley, a hero for the 90s. Guns of Paradise, Friday.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers, where you get the advantage. Allstate. For your home, auto, life, and business insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light.
Well, Jimmy Johnson has said we can't rely on the Rams tomorrow night against the Saints to do our job for us. We've got to do it on the field here in Atlanta today. And at halftime, they trail 7-0.
Yeah, it really does. It looks tough because they haven't really generated anything offensively. I think in the second half, they have to reduce their formations. They've got to play, and we'll see the touchdown here with Tracy Johnson, 43, coming over the left side, and a good push by Mike Ken. Hoover and also Jamie Dukes, the center. They get a good push, and he goes in there for the touchdown.
And it was Hugh Millen's scramble that set that up with the run inside the 1. That was our only touchdown. Leslie Visser's been down on the sideline and keeping track of the Dallas Cowboys. Leslie?
Jim and Hank, the mood of the Cowboys as they came up the tunnel was kind of angry and determined. They were yelling, "We're only down by 7 points. We've been down worse than that before this year." Of course, they trailed to both Tampa and New Orleans by 10, came back to win. Troy Aikman told me that in the locker room, Jimmy Johnson said what Hank had mentioned, that it's not the defense. He's pleased with the way the defense has been playing, but there have been too many breakdowns on offense, and they have to give the Babe more time. Jim?
Thank you, Leslie. And Babe hasn't gotten a lot of time or much success. You see that the Cowboys have done virtually nothing with just 3 first downs in this first half. Total offense reflects it as well. Just 82 for the Falcons, 62 for Dallas. Willis will kick it away. Laufenberg was just 4 out of 10 for 45 yards and an interception in the first half.
I still think, Jim, we started to touch on it at halftime, but they still have to open up the formations. They have to try to play with 3 wide receivers or 4 and see what they get up front. If they get 5 on 5, then they're going to get a chance to run the ball. If they get 6 on 5 or 7 on 5, then they can throw the ball. At least the receivers can get out quickly and they have a chance to make big plays. Right now, they got to throw away the sledgehammer. They've been playing sledgehammer football. They can't win this game with sledgehammer football in the second half.
Saxon will try to kick the ball away from Deion Sanders. He'll be trying to kick it around the 20-yard line to the sideline.
And Ken Willis is the only kicker in the National Football League that hasn't kicked a touchback all year long.
And doesn't figure to here. He's going to pop it up. And it'll be taken by Jones. Keith Jones is going to go.
Look at this. The great thing about it, look, there's a missed tackle. There's another 2 missed tackles. Another missed tackle. The kicker is trying to avoid trying to make the tackle. And he goes all the way in for the touchdown. The great thing about the run, he was very decisive, knew exactly where he was going to go, and went all the way in there for the touchdown.
Last Falcon to return a kickoff for a touchdown, Sylvester Stamps in 1987. Greg Davis makes it 14-0, and this was not the way that Jimmy Johnson envisioned the second half beginning.
The Cadillac Sedan DeVille. The Chrysler Fifth Avenue. It's got a driver's side airbag, air conditioning, a powerful engine, available wire wheel covers, room for 6, dual electric mirrors.
As you can see, these 2 cars offer the same kind of luxury. More or less. Chrysler Fifth Avenue.
Now get cashback savings with Chrysler's Golden Advantage.
Walk into a television showroom, and someone will probably try to sell you a set with a foreign name on it. Before you see their choice, ask to see yours. Ask to see the first TVs that combine digital video and audio, with a performance to back it up. Ask for picture-in-picture with triple flashback. Ask for a single remote that can learn to run everything. Ask to see a Zenith. For true innovation in television, quality never looked more like a Zenith.
Good times roll with a clean, fresh.
If your doctor had AIDS, would you want to know? This doctor never told his patients, but he will tell. 48 Hours, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Cowboy special teams coach Joe Alvazano told us down on the field before the game, if we kick the ball to Deion Sanders, we've made a mistake. The mistake was kicking it to Keith Jones.
Well, the mistake was missing tackles. That's the basic fundamental principle involved in what happened here. There are 4 or 5 missed tackles and good running, very good running on the part of the ball carrier, but basically the missed tackles were instrumental in why he was able to run it all the way back for the touchdown.
Derek Shepard is nailed around the 22. Falcons say they have a loose football. No signal as yet from any of the officials. Let's take a look and see if we can see if a fumble actually did occur.
You got to remove some of those bodies. No, evidently it wasn't. Dallas ball.
Well, the ball did come loose, but the Cowboys were able to cover it.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think it did squeeze out of there. And usually the bigger guy in the bottom of that pile usually winds up with the ball. That time he was squeezed out of there, but Dallas recovered.
Well, here comes Babe Laufenberg, and now he trails 14-0. The Cowboys haven't made a first down since 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Well, let's see if they open up the formation and see if they try to do a little business that way.
A glum Jimmy Johnson may be a fan of football on Monday night after this one. These Cowboys are down. Has the ball come from his grasp, incomplete. Ken Tippins, the linebacker out of Middle Tennessee State, on the coverage. Well, if you're wondering what's behind Babe Laufenberg, it's Cliff Stout, and that's it.
Well, I don't think you can blame the quarterback for anything that's happened so far. The pass protection hasn't been good. He's got to have security. He's got to be able to throw the football. And I think they got to reduce those formations. Now they're out wide.
2nd and 10 from the 23 for Dallas.
Here they come again. Whoop.
Laufenberg incomplete. Overthrowing his tight end, Jay Novacek. Now here's a guy that hasn't figured in the game plan at all so far, Novacek.
Well, here again, I think what he's going to see, what he saw in that last play, he's going to continue to see throughout the rest of the second half. If something good doesn't happen for the Cowboys, I guarantee you Jerry Glanville will keep putting the pressure on the quarterback, blitzing people, because they haven't come close to picking up the blitzes and providing security for their quarterback, Laufenberg.
3rd and 10 now from the 23.
Here they come again.
Laufenberg is sandwiched, but he does collect his own fumble at the 27-yard line.
Boy, how that ball rolled into his belly like it did while he was lying on the ground is unbelievable. Look at his feet coming through there. He's looking for a place to go. It's like going through a revolving door. There's no chance.
Green was in there. Mike Gann was in there.
And I think he's got to move the pocket some too. He can't continue to throw from the same position throughout the second half.
Saxon's been busy, and this is another poor effort. Sanders fields it at his own 30-yard line, downed immediately. A 42-yard punt with a lot of roll for Saxon. A 2-yard Deion Sanders return. Falcon ball when we come back.
No one can guarantee you a perfect world. A world where the unexpected never intrudes. But some of us know we'll be taken care of quickly and compassionately. In an imperfect world, you're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of four-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eagle gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
Don't touch anything. This is a science.
Ooh, salmon.
Salmon Douglas. Do we get a little wine with this?
That's my department.
Oh, this is great, Carol. What is it?
Sauvignon Blanc.
It's good with salmon.
Who makes it? Gallo.
They're really something lately.
I like this.
Sauvignon Blanc. Whoa, aren't you going to wait for the salmon? We are.
Ernest and Julio Gallo present their 1988 Sauvignon Blanc. It will change the way you think about Gallo.
When you're looking for mystery, you always start at the scene of the crime. Premieres Wednesday, January 23rd on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
Well, this one figures to be a very even and hotly contested game. We're looking forward to it. USC against Michigan State. That's the John Hancock Bowl right here on CBS tomorrow at 2:30. And don't forget the Mobile Cotton Bowl. That'll be New Year's Day, and a big one it'll be. Texas against Miami. Texas with just that one loss to Colorado, and Miami the 2 to BYU and Notre Dame. National championship implications in that one. Rozier banging straight ahead, and he could go! Chasing him, knocks him out of bounds at the 1.
And that's the only thing he could do on that play. Only thing. They'll give him a push to hope to get him out of bounds. There's a big hole. Rozier going all the way. It looks like he switches the ball so he can get a straight arm on Holt. But Holt very wisely pushes him just enough to knock him out of bounds before he went in the end zone for the touchdown. Gets knocked out of bounds and about the 1. Chris Hinton, number 71, really made a great block on the run.
Mike Rozier spits out a little of the mud and the goo from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after a 67-yard ramble. And things continue to deteriorate for Jimmy Johnson.
He's got to be in shock after those last 2 plays.
Well, the half began badly with a 76-yard kickoff return by Keith Jones. Now he's seen Rozier ramble 67 yards, and the ball is just outside the 1. That's the longest run from scrimmage in Atlanta Falcon history. What an acquisition that man was for $100 off waivers.
That's a great compliment to Jerry Glanville. He knew exactly the kind of a player he is.
Here's Johnson who gets the call. Tracy Johnson, who scored the only touchdown of the first half, but he's dropped for a loss of about 2.
It'd be a miracle if they can come out of here with just 3.
Boy, with the Cowboys showing so little offense here, if they're down 21-0, they are in dire shape.
Yeah, they're in serious trouble. Serious trouble.
That 67-yard run by Rozier, the longest run against the Cowboy defense this season. It broke wide open for him. 2nd and goal from the 3. Jones up, over, but short. Danny Noonan stuffs it.
Yeah, he tried to jump over the pile, but gets pushed back. Howard, 99, gets good penetration. They're all up there. Look at that hit. Stubbs is underneath it all, makes the tackle. But they're all in there trying to keep him from getting into the end zone. They stopped him. Here comes Rozier back in the contest.
Well, he's not going to get back in. No. They're going to come up to the line of scrimmage too quickly. 3rd and goal from the 2. Jones again diving, not getting there. So the Cowboys have stiffened. You go for it here, Hank?
Yeah, I'd go for it. I'd go for it. I sure would if I were Atlanta. I'd try to get another 7.
And now Rozier is back in the game.
Knowing Jerry Glanville like I do, I'm sure that he'll go for it.
Well, with Rozier coming in, all eyes will be on him, won't they?
I would think so.
He's number 30 with the mud and the lime on his back from that long run. 4th and goal from the 1. Rozier.
Didn't make it.
Jerry Jones likes it. Jimmy Johnson likes it. Jerry Glanville doesn't, and so Mike Rozier shares the same sentiments. Hamill and Lockhart stopped him.
Great goal lines. Now here we have to be aware and be anxious to see how this goal line stand stimulates or motivates this Dallas Cowboy team, whether this will bring them back to life and whether they'll get something going in the second half.
Emmett Smith is the tailback in the eye. And he is dropped for the safety, Tim Green.
Look at the penetration by Tim Green, 99, and no chance whatsoever. Look at Green.
Of the minivan is now complete.
Now get cashback savings with Plymouth's Golden Advantage.
Good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Number 4, Miami. Number 3, Texas. 2 powers gunning for the national championship, the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic. Happy New Year.
It's been a disastrous third quarter for Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys, giving up 9 unanswered points. And he's looking for answers.
Well, the call, dial-up play.
Saxon's free kick is taken in at his own 18 by Sanders. Burrowing his way up to the 32. Here's another look at that safety, Hank.
Yeah, we'll see Timmy Green, 99. Look at on the right side of your screen. Look at Green slip in the gap. Evidently, the tackle of the tight end missed the block on him. He was able to get through the gap and penetrate into the offensive backfield and make the play for the safety. A great play by Tim Green, number 99, played his collegiate football at Syracuse.
Well, maybe it didn't take a valedictorian to figure out that Emmett Smith was going to get the football in that situation, but that's what Green was at Syracuse. He diagnosed it beautifully, didn't he?
Yeah, he surely did. He executed beautifully. That's what he did. He got off that block. I think somebody had a piece of him. I couldn't tell who it was, but he got the penetration and slid right in through there for the safety.
He's a guy who told us a couple of weeks ago his career's been rejuvenated by Jerry Glanville.
Well, it's been rejuvenated a great deal more by that last play.
Rozier and Jones will be the running backs for Mellon and the Falcons.
Look at this total offense, 72 yards for Dallas Atlanta. 149.
Rising in motion. Gives to Rozier. Jeffcoat rides him down after a short gain. Cliff Stout signed this week has only practiced twice with Dallas.
Yeah, he's pacing up and down. I don't know what he could contribute after being in camp only 2 days. And again, the big thing here is not Babe. It's just a question they haven't been able to pass block for him and haven't been able to open any holes. You have to give Atlanta an awful lot of credit for the great defensive job they have done.
2nd and 9 for the Falcons from their 32. They lead it 16-0 here in the third quarter. Dillon will roll and be sacked back at the 26-yard line. Ball is loose, and the Cowboys have it.
Smith, 57. Look at this. From the backside, a tackle.
Jimmy Jones it was who tripped him up.
Yeah, but the recovery was by Smith.
The ball came loose before the runner was down. Fumble recovery, Dallas.
Did that look to you like the ball came loose before he was down?
It didn't to me, no.
I got to believe they'll look at this one again.
Yeah, I think they got to look at this one. They're looking at it, I'm sure.
Oh, no, his knee was down, I think.
It looked like the knee was down, but you couldn't tell the player blocked the ball. You couldn't tell what happened to the ball.
It was a fumble, first down and 10 Dallas.
The ball was sticking out to the right side, and there was a player lying on the ground. I think we couldn't see the ball flop out of there, and that was a fumble.
And a break for the Cowboys, who need one desperately. 1st and 10 from the 25 of Atlanta. Emmitt Smith brought down immediately by Ken Tippins after a short gain. His first catch of the day for Emmitt Smith, who's seen a lot of action as a ball carrier.
Jack Johnson is hoping desperately that they call the right plays, and he kind of intercedes. And on this kind of an occasion, a lot of times we'll call up to Shula and say, give me a sweep, give me off tackle, give me a screen, give me something. Well, he suggests something, that's what they'll do.
Give me a touchdown. 2nd and 5 from the 20.
Blitz again.
Throwing it up. Incomplete in the end zone for Emmitt Smith.
That was the one thing we talked about, talking about Babe yesterday to some other people. And they said one thing about him, when he has a chance, he is not the most accurate passer in the world. Here it is, a perfect opportunity to change the scoreboard, to get 7 or get 6, and he overthrew the receiver.
He's but 5 for 14 for 55 yards and an interception. So Dallas hasn't been down here very often. They badly need to convert here. 3rd and 5 from the 20. Floats it up for right. It's incomplete, but there's a flag down. He was working on Bobby Butler.
All-out blitz again. All-out blitz. And the nice thing, see, they had an open formation that time, Jim. They had a triple wing, meaning 3 receivers on one side, a receiver on the other side. The other great thing about it is
to the hands, number 23 defense.
Butler.
5 yards, first down.
And if they're going to blitz you with that situation, at least you got one-on-ones all over the place. You got a chance to make big plays. And especially you give yourself more time when you're in the shotgun, instead of being under the quarterback with as many middle blitzes as they've had.
That's the Cowboys' first down since the first quarter. They've been able to blitz more because Butler's been more accomplished in man-to-man coverage, but he gets flagged here, and it's a first down for the Cowboys at the 15-yard line. They trail 16-0 with 8:59 to play in the third quarter. Smith
murder.
Tim Green again.
I tell you, this would be a good time. Here they are again. They got a tight end. They got the normal formation. Try to get outside. There's no place to run. Smith is carrying the ball in the wrong arm, so he can't get any help. In the event somebody does try to make a tackle, he can straight arm somebody, but in that traffic, he's got no chance. They ought to get in a full wide receiver situation and do business that way to reduce those people and get a chance for a big play.
Smith has rushed 14 times for just 21 yards.
Well, they're still in a tight end situation.
2nd and 10 from the 15. Underthrowing Smith, incomplete.
Safety blitz again, safety blitz. And again, now they're so gun shy that they're concerned about getting rid of the football because they haven't been able to pass block it. And he throws the ball before he's actually got a chance. Look at, he's falling away, nothing on the ball, and hits the ground. That's the only thing he can hit on that kind of a pattern.
Boy, both Elbert Shelley and Jesse Tuggle were coming through virtually untouched.
That's why you got to move the pocket. You got to move the pocket to get away from an inside rush. That reduces it completely.
So it's 3rd and 10 from the 15. Cowboys just 1 out of 8 on 3rd down.
5 defensive backs. Here they come again.
Incomplete at the goal line. Kelvin Martin, the intended receiver, was at the 5. And Laufenberg was buried back at the 29.
Safety blitz again. Safety blitz. Scott Case, number 25, coming from the outside. They look like they're playing with about 13 people on defense. There's Scott Case giving him a shot right about the time he got rid of the football.
Ken Willis comes on. He had missed from 34 back in the first quarter. This will be a 33-yard attempt for the Cowboys finally to get on the board. This one is no good as well. Coming into this game, Ken Willis was the most accurate kicker in the NFL inside the 50 with 18 out of 19. Today he's missed from 34 and 33.
I mentioned early in the game that he didn't kick the ball well in practice. He was psyched out by the mud and the unfavorable conditions. Instead of taking a positive approach and just worried about kicking the ball, he worried about everything else, and in the process this afternoon, he missed another field goal. It's really tough for this young kicker.
Steve Broussard checks in for the first time today and will get the call. And the number 1 draft choice fights his way beyond the 25 and up close to the 27. Broussard's that first-round pick out of Washington State who's been hampered by injuries. Jerry Glanville would like to see him fight through those injuries and spend more time on the practice field and on the field on Sundays.
He still realizes what a fine back he is, and you know, there's so much you can do. If you got a bad knee, you got a bad knee. Look at all the room on the right side.
2nd and 3. Oh, as Broussard stood up and driven backward by Vincent Smith. Here's a kid who's had a big day in relief.
I'm telling you, he's done a remarkable job under the circumstances. They were very concerned about that position going into the game. Watch the hit. That's a big league hit. That's a Hall of Fame hit.
He's playing for Ken Norton, who had surgery on a knee damaged last week against the Eagles.
Smith has had 6 tackles, solo tackles so far in this contest.
Rozier's back in on 3rd and 3 from the 27. Rising in motion. Rozier with the handoff, and he's loose again. Up to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18. He's over 100.
Somebody missed. Somebody missed. They got penetration. Let's see who got in there and missed it. Oh, he's way outside. 45. Hendricks. Hendrick came through there, but way wide. And he went right inside of him with a corner blitz.
James Washington eventually brought him down after that 18-yard gain. 12 carries for 113 yards for Rozier. Rison in motion.
Look at all the room passing-wise on the right side.
They're going to run it again with Rozier, and again he's going to pick up substantial yardage into Cowboy territory. We're in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, and it's been a big third quarter for the Atlanta Falcons. They lead it over the Cowboys 16-0. The Cowboys need the win to be in the playoffs. If not, they must rely on the Rams tomorrow night in the Superdome against the Saints.
And rushing yards, Dallas 30 yards rushing, and Atlanta 129.
Tracy Johnson's in at fullback. Cowboys blitz. Rozier drops the ball, but the Falcons retain possession. Sean Collins comes away with it.
Safety blitz that time too, and the thing that happens when you blitz linebackers and safeties, if you get through the crack, boy, it's a bye-bye blues. You got a great chance to go all the way because there's no pursuit.
But the Cowboys are getting desperate, aren't they?
Well, look at the comparison between Smith and Rozier. 21 yards, 1.5 for Smith. Rozier 127, 9.1. That's hard to do in a pregame warm-up, get that kind of yardage.
1st and 10 from the 39. Give it off to Johnson, plowing straight ahead for a couple. Rozier told us yesterday, make sure that you thank Mike Hollavac for me on the broadcast tomorrow.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Hollavac, of course, the general manager at Houston. Jerry Glanville never got along with him there, neither did Rozier. And what a great acquisition Rozier was.
Well, that's the nice thing about having someone like Rozier, Jerry Glanville. He knew what he was getting. He knew what a big heart he had, what a great competitor he was, and he knew that he would be a great influence on this football team from a leadership standpoint.
He has been that. 2nd and 7 from the 36. Broussard. He runs into a pile after a short gain.
Well, they're going to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can. Talking about Atlanta. And especially so the way they're moving the football.
The time is running out for the Cowboys. 2:52 to play here in the third quarter. They're down 16-0. They've had virtually no offense. They must win here today to make the playoffs on their own. If not, they must rely on the kindness of strangers in New Orleans, because that's where the Los Angeles Rams will be playing tomorrow night in the Superdome against the Saints.
I'm sure all the fans in New Orleans are full of happiness. A lot of smiles at this stage of the game.
Not very often are they rooting for the Falcons in New Orleans, but they certainly are today. 3rd and 3 from the 33. Rozier tripped up at the 29. Robert Williams on the tackle.
Here he gets another short snap again. No, he doesn't. It's a draw. Quarterback gets it and gives it to Rozier. But there again, see, look how well he switches the ball and how well he uses a straight arm to get added yardage on the play.
You love that, don't you? And he's really done it well today.
Well, it's right. And I think young players around the country who are watching professional football, they see a back run that way. They learn that's what their coaches tell them to do, and yet so many backs in the National Football League will run to their left with the ball in the right arm or run to the right with the ball in their left arm. It's ridiculous. But he's a great example of how you should carry the ball.
And he has really been toting the leather today. A 67-yard run earlier in the third quarter, one of the big plays of this game. And also going over 100 yards on the ground. Well, it's going to be 4th down, and they're going to try again. They've made it once, they've failed once. Rozier up, over, and it looks like he has it. He needed about a yard.
Watch him now from the deep I formation. Now look him leap over the top. He comes down head first. He didn't really make any progress as he got up in the air. He went straight down. And a nosedive. It's going to be interesting to see how they mark the ball. It's going to be close.
They'll bring the sticks in from the near sideline.
Concerned by Jimmy Johnson.
And he picks it up. Mike Rozier, the main man for the Falcons. As Jimmy Johnson grits his teeth once more. And Jerry Glanville says, we just pulled off another. He would like to close this season with a 2-game winning streak and build some momentum for next year.
Well, the one thing about this team, he has to be happy with the way his team played all year long from an effort standpoint. They were only out of 1 game, and that was the first Ram game.
11th play in this drive for the Falcons as they eat up the clock and give it to Broussard on the ground. He's up to about the 25-yard line.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line of the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Ken, Hoover, Dukes, Fraley, Hinton. Boy, they've all. And John Scully came in there and made a good block earlier in the game. But that offensive line is really flying off the ball. They're making some sparks fly up front. That's where it all starts.
And they're grinding it out right now and taking time off the clock. Just about a minute to be played here in the 3rd quarter. 16-0. John Settle gets the call. And he will settle for about 1.5 yards. Settle's a guy who's really been in Glanville's doghouse. Hasn't played much after gaining over 1,000 yards for the Falcons back in 1988. It is his speed that is suspect.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason. I think he's a great kid, and he hustles well, and he plays hard, does everything that he's supposed to do, but, you know, he just doesn't have the speed to compete with the other people on his squad. Look at Minnesota cutting up the 49ers, 10-0.
And here the Falcons are doing the same to the Cowboys.
And Washington is chopping up Buffalo, too. Of course, Buffalo playing with a lot of guys missing.
There's that snap to Rozier once more. And he battles his way inside the 20, close to a first down. It appears he'd be a bit short, but we'll see. Jimmy Jones and James Washington combine on the stop.
Bates blitzing on the play, number 40 on that last play.
And they're going to measure. Given the Falcons' success on 4th down on this drive and throughout the day, they'd probably go for it anyway.
You know, if he went for it down the other occasions, he'd do it again, but they make it. They don't have to worry about it. New point.
They wind the clock. And the 3rd quarter is history. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with our score. The Atlanta Falcons 16, the Dallas Cowboys nothing.
USC takes on Michigan State, the John Hancock Bowl, New Year's Eve day.
The thirst for adventure. He is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of 4-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eagle gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
This is a 2-hour ride.
So?
So what if my diarrhea comes back?
Oh, Oh, relax. You took these Imodium AD caplets.
Just once. I always took the pink stuff 2 or 3 times.
Well, these are much better.
Imodium AD caplets are so effective, they often work in one dose, instead of dose after dose after dose like the pink stuff.
I'm leaving.
Already?
Imodium AD caplets can make your first attack of diarrhea your last.
Well, do the Cowboys still believe in Babe? They've got 15 minutes left. They haven't put a point on the board yet.
Well, I think what has to happen, I think Jimmy Johnson has been around long enough. He has to tell his squad, listen, we're 16 points down. That doesn't mean we're 16 plays out of this game. We're only 2.5 plays, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. We win the game. That's what he has to sell his team. And they got to come out in the second half and throw away the high button shoe offense and start doing something with open formations, try to get some yardage going up and down that field.
But first, they've got to get their hands back on the football, and they've had a hard time doing that in the third quarter as this drive continues.
Yeah, they're playing keep away and doing a good job of it.
First play of quarter number 4. Falcons leading 16-0. The Cowboys, who had it in their own hands just 2 weeks ago, may now be taking out memberships in the Los Angeles Rams fan club. And a former Ram, Hugh Millen, has led the Falcons to this 16-0 lead, along with a lot of help, particularly from that guy, Mike Rozier.
And the nice thing about what the Falcons are doing, they're playing with a tight end and 2 receivers on the outside. So they have the receiving aspect of it available if they want to throw it, and then they have the tight end along with the 5 linemen in there to also do a good job of running like they're doing right now.
The third quarter, the Falcons ran the ball 20 times, and once they were sacked trying to pass. And you can see how time-consuming this drive has been for the Falcons.
And after looking at those stats, I'll go way out the limb and say they will continue to run.
It's a very thick wind at the moment as Mike Rozier picks up another first down.
That's what I mentioned a moment ago. That time they played with 4 wide receivers. The formation was reduced, the defense was spread out, and as a result, you got running room. That's what the Cowboys have to do. Here it is. Look at Rozier on the sprint draw. Goes through that big hole and picks up another big gain on the play. But see what that does. It takes away, you can't overshift or do anything because the tight end is not in there. You got to reduce the formation defensively, and you got a lot of running room. And if they gang up with a run, then you got a chance to throw the ball outside to the uncovered receivers.
14-yard pickup. Rozier is now up to 151 yards on the day. And we've got much of the fourth quarter still to be played. Keith Jones inside the 5. Jimmy Jones on the tackle. Jerry Jones on the sideline, feeling worse by the moment. And you can just see this Cowboy defense is getting worn down.
Oh, they really are. They've been on the field an awful long time, and it's Jerry Jones. Talked to him before the game. He was very enthusiastic and very involved and hoping for the best here this afternoon. It hasn't worked out that way so far.
The Falcons have held the ball over 10 minutes in this drive. 2nd and goal from the 5. Rozier to about the 3.
See, that time they had a double wing formation again, 4 wide receivers, and they only had 5 on 5. That's a perfect time to run, which they did. They slipped. The left tackle slipped off the block that time and got in there and made the tackle. But that's the kind of running you ought to do in this situation.
Mike Rozier has set a new career high for himself of 153 yards, as you can see on the 20 carries. And as he was telling us yesterday, boy, wouldn't they like to have me back in Houston now.
Well, he'd be looking for the fire department after this, get it resuscitated.
He's been busy. Thomas in motion. Rozier bangs his way down close to the 1.
Well, there you go. That was a trap from the same 4 receiver setup. Had some running room.
Well, it's 4th down, and now it looks like the Falcons will kick. Millen's coming to the sideline.
They have to kick it. Now if they get 3, it'll be not 2.5 plays, but there'll be 3 plays to get back in this contest.
Greg Davis comes on. And this will be a very short one.
And he's made 18 out of his last 19 field goal attempts inside the 40.
It'll be just a 19-yard attempt. But the Falcons blocked one of those last week by the Rams from the same distance. Falcons take a delay of game penalty, so this will make it a longer field goal. 24.
We talked about the fact the Peach Bowl was played here yesterday, and they chopped up the field quite a bit, but the field today looks like a great big peach pie.
With some of its contents oozing out.
All over the place.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Greg Davis, who's been in the league for 4 years, says this is the worst he's ever seen at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. They played a rugby game on it before the game. That helped it a lot.
Well, they want to make sure it was going to be bad.
23 yards officially on this field goal attempt by Davis. 3 more nails in the Cowboy coffin. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
I just saved a lot of money at the IRS. No, the IRS inventory reduction sale at Big Sur Waterbeds.
You'll be happy too when you see how we've cut prices on overstocked, one-of-a-kind selected floor model and scratch and dent waterbeds and bedroom furniture. But hurry for best selection to our once-a-year IRS. Shop New Year's noon to 7. Big Sur Waterbeds, America's largest. Fairview at Cole in the Westgate 1 Shopping Center in Boise.
You know, Jim, one of the most important aspects of coaching is knowing when to go to that bench.
I know what you mean, Paul. In fact, I thought the coach was going to put you in right there because he needed somebody to grab some rebounds.
You know, what we need right here is a little shooting, I think. Maybe there you go. You're it. Wait a minute.
I thought I was the guy. I can hit that outside jump shot.
Well, the coach is supposed to know when to go to the bench.
For the best play-by-play, Jim Brinson, Paul J. Schneider, AM 67 KBOI. There's no substitute.
Our last sale of the year has already been a huge success. With bargain prices like we've been advertising, I understand why. Here are just a few more you should be aware of. 1989 Geo Spectrum, $46.95 or $79 a month. 90 old Sierra, Pontiac Grand Am, or Geo Prism, $89.99 or $149 a month. Our truck selection and prices are the best they've ever been. Don't forget, we'll be open this Sunday, 11 to 5 in Boise and Ontario. And remember, nobody beats a Dennis Dillon deal. I'm Dennis Dillon. I guarantee it.
Jim Brinson, Eyewitness News.
Jimmy Johnson seeing his defense being dominated on the ground by the Falcons. 3 more points on the scoreboard, and it's 19-0 Atlanta. Look at that drive. Took 13:08 off the clock. James Dixon to the 21. And Babe Laufenberg gets the call once more, and you can see by his jersey today that he spent a lot of time on his back. Hasn't been sacked a whole lot, but he has really been hurried, and his numbers reflect it. Laufenberg this half, 1 out of 6 for 5 yards.
And it all goes back to that pass protection. He hasn't had any pass protection here this afternoon at all. Every time he went back in the pocket, it was like throwing a hand grenade. Pull the pin and fall back.
Usually with about 5 black shirts on your face. Falcons only rush 4 this time. And Michael Irvin makes a leaping reception at the 37-yard line. That's his first catch of the day.
That's what they have to do. They play with 4 wide receivers there finally. And that's their only salvation.
16-yard pickup. Irvin's shaken up. Well, Scott Case really likes to punish people, doesn't he? And he does a lot.
But I'm going to tell you something. Irvin made a great catch there. He caught it up high in his hands. No help whatsoever. He's wide open for a good shot, and he got it.
You think Irvin didn't get his bell rung? He just tried to come off the field to the Falcon bench.
Oh, he took a shot. No question about it. If this was a fight, he'd have gone to the wrong corner.
He's looking for a standing 8 count about now. He told us yesterday he was going to get physical with Dion. Dion wasn't in on that tackle, but it was Scott Case who got physical with Irvin.
Well, he talked about that early in the game, going after Dion to make sure he knew he was there. He was going to try very hard to block him. Here they are, shotgun again.
Laufenberg on first down. Throws near sideline, and it is no catch. Bobbled by Kelvin Martin. Don't forget, coming up right here on CBS, a game of great importance to the Seattle Seahawks. They can get a wild card berth by winning if the Bengals lose to Cleveland. Right now, they're all tied up 14-14 in the fourth quarter. Or if Pittsburgh beats Houston at Houston later tonight. Some of you will also see Green Bay at Denver. You can see the fight the Bengals are in with the Browns. Washington getting ready for the playoffs. Philadelphia will have the home field advantage after their win yesterday. 2nd and 10. Laufenberg again, and again it's Calvin Martin.
That time they had 7 defensive back and blitzed Sanders on the outside.
Cowboys will come with their 2-minute offense with 9 minutes remaining. Such are the dire straits they're in. 19-0 they trail.
Here they come again. He caught that ball like he had a baseball glove on it, on his hand. Look at that one-handed catch. He's got a glove, but not a baseball glove. Beautiful interception by Deion Sanders. And look at him pick his way downfield. And he changes the scoreboard. Watch the dance now. This is fun.
Scott Case threw a great block out in front on Emmitt Smith. And Deion Sanders brings it back 61 yards. Now, we didn't quite catch that excessive demonstration in the end zone by the Falcons, but Deion and Andre Bruce and a whole bunch of others were down there, so they'll eventually be penalized for that. So the Falcons have broken it wide open here in the second half. Davis adds the extra point. And with 8:26 to play in the fourth quarter, the Falcons have taken a 26-0 lead over the Cowboys. There's a flag down back at the 5-yard line on that extra point attempt. But apparently they will not make Davis re-kick.
Disqualification. Disqualification. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Disqualification. Number 77, Atlanta. Number 45, Dallas. Both disqualified.
That's Rick Bryan of Atlanta.
And
Hendricks for the Cowboys. A concerned Jimmy Johnson looks on.
The United States government has awarded Cadillac the highest honor in American business, the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. It is the first time this award has been given to an automobile company for its quality achievements in satisfying the customer. So in a very real way, Cadillac's success is also a victory for the American consumer. Another reason why the only way to travel is Cadillac style.
Before your copier gets the best of you, get a better copier.
Watch Manny Hendricks in the inside, number 45, on your left side of the screen. There he is. He's in there with Bryant. And they're doing a little pushing and shoving, stretching the pores a little bit. Nothing much happening, but they both get thrown right out of the football game.
Hendricks is the starter at right corner for the Cowboys. Bryant has seen a lot of action as well at defensive end today. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. It's quite a role reversal today for the Cowboys, isn't it? Troy Aikman looking on with the headset and Babe Laufenberg playing.
Atlanta looks like the team that is fighting desperately for a playoff berth instead of just ending a season with the win.
Well, they've got a 6th sellout crowd here today looking on. A lot of them are Cowboy fans, but this is the kind of rejuvenated atmosphere for the Falcons that they had here early in the season.
Well, I think they have a lot of confidence in the future of this football team under the direction and guidance of Jerry Glanville. He's really done a terrific job, as has Jimmy Johnson. But this team is a team of the future, I'll guarantee you. Both of these young teams, especially when they get Troy Aikman back.
And they both got multiple draft choices in the first round this coming spring.
I'm going to tell you another thing. Hugh Millen has done a good job here this afternoon. You don't even know he's been in the game, but he hasn't created any problems and made some big plays that help this team win this game if they're going to win it this afternoon.
And there's a look at Hugh Millen, who was making just his 3rd NFL start here today. His 2nd as a Falcon.
Millen has completed 8 of 13, Jim, for 68 yards.
Hasn't made the big mistake, as you said. Davis drives Dixon 3 yards deep, and he won't bring it out. This is Jim Henderson along with Hank Stram. We're in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with 8:18 to play here in the 4th quarter, and maybe on the Cowboys' playoff chances, pending what's going to occur tomorrow night in New Orleans. You look at Dallas, total ineptitude on offense. Mike Rozier has had a monstrous day. And Babe Laufenberg woke up from his dream here this afternoon.
You don't think the people, our friends in New Orleans, are going to celebrate anything tonight, do you?
Doesn't take much for them to celebrate back there in any event.
No, all you have to do is whistle and walk down Bourbon Street. You got a parade.
They're probably boxing up some care packages of gumbo to send to their great friends up here in Atlanta. Laufenberg under siege. Completes it up to about the 24-yard line to Kelvin Martin. Scott Case with another big hit. Case was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week for his work against the Rams in victory. The ball be spotted up at the 25-yard line where it's 2nd and 5. And it's beginning to rain. Once more. Oh, look at Case pour in on Laufenberg. When it rains, it pours on the Dallas Cowboys, and that was Scott Case coming in for the 2nd sack of this game for Atlanta. Case says that Deion Sanders is called the juice in the secondary. His teammates call him the milk, and he was in on top of Laufenberg for the sack.
Boy, what a way to spend an afternoon trying desperately to get into the playoffs in a game that you have to win.
Cowboys have been 1 out of 9 on 3rd down. Well, stranger things have happened than the team like the Rams beating the Saints.
Here they come again.
And down he goes again, back at the 7. Case once more.
And they love it. These players love this kind of football where they can be aggressive, make things happen, be on the attack. That's what they've done. That's Jerry Glanville's style, and that's the way they're playing here this afternoon.
They've really turned Case loose under the circumstances. 1 sack coming in today, 2 in the last 2 plays.
Let's take a picture of Doug Shively, who was on my staff in New Orleans and, of course, has been here and has done a great job with the defensive line and linebackers of the Atlanta Falcons.
Dion calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 45-yard line. We'll be back.
There's a moment in time, maybe once in your life, when you feel that you're ready to fly.
And that time is now, with the power of fuel-injected multi-valve engines, the security of anti-lock braking systems, the agility of 4-wheel independent suspensions. This is advanced Pontiac technology for the 90s. And from now till January 7th, special factory incentives make all this Pontiac technology even more affordable.
On the Pontiac Express, we do the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tots, the premium choice.
Dropping off your film is like dropping off your kids. You worry.
Bye, son. See you soon.
Relax. If you see this Kodak color watch seal, they'll get great developing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by McDonald's. You know the one, it's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. Toshiba Copiers. Before your copier gets the best of you, get a better copier. And by Tots, the premium choice.
Well, the Cowboy offense rests, but the Dallas defense hasn't rested much at all here this afternoon. They're back out on the field. Here's the way the playoffs shape up at the NFC. You can see the Cowboys needed a win here this afternoon or a New Orleans loss. Now they must bank on a New Orleans loss, it would appear, against the Rams tomorrow night. These are the people that are sitting and lying in wait for either the Saints or the Cowboys to finally get into the playoff picture. Been a long afternoon for Emmitt Smith.
Been a long afternoon for all the Cowboys. It's a tough way to go out. Of course, it's not over yet.
Andre Rison with the reception, driven out of bounds after a short gain. And he has tied a club record with that reception.
I said it wasn't over yet, meaning that the Rams still have to play the New Orleans Saints on Monday night, and New Orleans has to win to get into the playoffs, and I think everybody feels that they will win the way the Rams have played the last few times out.
And you have to wonder, will the Rams be at all rejuvenated with Johnny Robinson re-signed?
Well, that's the question. You never know what's going to, pump up a team. You never know what's going to happen.
2nd and 6 here for the Falcons, and they'll throw the ball. And it'll be caught by Rison at about the 42-yard line. That breaks the record, and you can see how the Falcons are saluting that addition. What an addition he's been this year.
And a couple of weeks ago, he was so banged up that he couldn't practice. And he said to him while he was dressing before practice, he said to one of his teammates, "If you'll tie my shoes, I'll practice today." He couldn't bend over to tie his shoes. True story.
And that's the kind of attitude that Jerry Glanville loves. Andre Rison headed to the Pro Bowl, where he'll start along with Jerry Rice.
Rison has caught 5 balls for 49 yards. Last week he was a decoy. He was so banged up, they just put him in the game to go from side to side. He was getting double coverage, and nobody knew that he couldn't run.
Tracy Johnson and Steve Broussard will be the running backs for the Falcons once we return to action here.
I must mention our friend Dean Kleinschmidt in New Orleans called Jerry Ray before the game and said, if you beat the Cowboys, I'll buy you dinner. We'll look for a star in the East if that happens, but at least he made
Dean Kleinschmidt being the trainer for the New Orleans Saints. And Jerry Ray, the trainer for the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to look at this one again to see whether the catch was made by Rison. You can judge for yourself. He might have to try to set the record again. Well, they had a couple of replays here today. Boy, they had a ton of them here last week when the Falcons took on the Rams. And don't forget, straight ahead right here on CBS, you'll want to be watching Detroit and Seattle as the Seahawks still trying to get that wild card berth in the AFC. And for Detroit, they're trying to make Barry Sanders the leading rusher in the NFL. They allow the catch by Rison, and play will continue, and the clock will continue to run. It's bearing down on 5 minutes. Babe Laufenberg said in all of his travels around the NFL, he learned one thing: don't buy a house. If I were a real estate agent in Dallas, I don't think I'd be giving him a call tonight.
Well, he's already got 3, so I can understand why he wouldn't buy another one.
Steve Broussard is swarmed over and dropped for a loss on 1st and 10 from the 42 of Dallas.
Well, that defense of Dallas has been on the field a long time. And Jimmy Johnson's concern going into the game was the offense, and it was justified. They just couldn't get anything done here this afternoon. The defense certainly played well, considering the fact they've been on the field so much of the time this afternoon without any help whatsoever from the offense.
They never could find anything offensively to hang their hat on, could they?
No, it was a grab bag thing all afternoon. Nothing they did worked, and I thought they might have been able to start early, but earlier with a wide open kind of an offense. But the pass protection was just horrendous. They just never did any kind of a job at all of protecting the passer, and that's what it's all about.
Broussard again. Ball is free. Picked up by James Washington of the Cowboys. And it's Dallas's ball. Dallas will have the football when we return, but just 3:58 left on the 4th quarter clock. The Falcons are leading it 26-0. Let's take another look.
Here we see it. Broussard cutting to his right. There again, you don't know where his knee was. You couldn't tell for sure whether his knee was down or not.
That's been a problem for him this season, hasn't it? Costly fumbles.
Yes, that's right. And the worst thing about it is, there again, he's carrying the ball in the wrong arm.
So the Cowboys will have it, but not much to do offensively. Not much to work with. That's the best run of the day for Emmitt Smith. He came into this game with 903 yards on the ground, and he's locked in a battle with Johnny Johnson of the Cardinals to become the leading rusher among rookies in the NFL.
And they might be saying, let's at least salvage something out of this game. Let's see if we can get Emmitt Smith his 1,000 yards.
He's only picked up 33 on the day. In 15 carries, that one went for 12. He needs 64 more yards to break 100 today.
Timeout.
Or to break 1,000 for the season, I should say. A timeout with 3:51 to play, and the Falcons lead 26-0.
AT&T, the right choice. Fran Tarkenton threw a record 342 touchdown passes in his career, but who holds the record for consecutive games with at least one touchdown pass? John Unitas of the Colts, Joe Montana of the 49ers, or Norm Van Brocklin of the Rams? Which would you choose?
Did you know it's tough getting business people to agree on what's best? Yet business people do agree. Nobody beats AT&T when it comes to long-distance service. In an independent poll where users rated their carriers, AT&T was unsurpassed in the best technology and best service categories and was voted #1 in overall satisfaction. So now that we've agreed on AT&T, it's back to business as usual. Quality, another AT&T advantage.
John Unitas compiled the pro football equivalent of Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak. If you said Unitas, you made the right choice.
When Pontiac set out to create a dramatically different minivan, they had two basic design objectives: ultra-efficient air management and just plain looking good. Transport, the Pontiac of minivans. But wait, the innovative Transport gives you yet another way to manage the flow of air. A unique built-in inflator pump that helps you meet new people and make new friends. Transport, the Pontiac of minivans.
We build excitement. Transport.
It was a tight game in the first half as the Falcons led at intermission 7-0, but they have broken it open here in the third and fourth quarters. And right now, all the Cowboys can do is look at individual honors, and Emmitt Smith has gained one of those. As you can see, he surpassed Johnny Johnson, whose season ended with the Cardinals yesterday against the Eagles.
You know, the Cowboys have only had 48 yards of offense since the first quarter. Murdered.
They knew they had to run Smith a lot, but he's never been able to really break free. They haven't had many other weapons. It's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Atlanta.
Here they come again.
And Laufenberg overthrows his intended receiver, Derek Shepard, by some 10 yards. Well, if you're making the start like Laufenberg is under these conditions, the Falcons might be the worst team you could play, wouldn't you say, the way they come after people?
Yeah, they're the same kind of a team as Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to make you throw the ball to win the game. You're not going to run well, and you've got to go into the game with the idea it's going to be feast or famine. We're going to look badly on many plays, but we got to keep throwing the ball up on top to get big plays. You ought to get 10 or 15 good opportunities. If you hit 3 or 4 of them, you got 21 or 28 points. Cowboys were not able to do that. Protection was just ridiculous.
Not too good right here either, though. Laufenberg will scramble out of it. Throw downfield. The catch is made by Martin around the 27-yard line. You know, the only big play the Cowboys made today, that goal line stand, and then on the first play from scrimmage, they gave up the safety, and they've had no life since.
Yeah, that stuck a pin in the balloon. I think they were very excited about what they just did, and they will come right back and give them a safety, and then they got to kick the ball back to Atlanta, and the whole thing changed right after that. They're still blitzing. Another blitz on that last play.
Tippins. It's the running back Smith in the backfield. There's a guy who's had a pretty good day as well, Ken Tippins. He's had to play a lot for John Rady, who got shaken up. Well, Troy Aikman faces the prospect of surgery in the days ahead after that third-degree shoulder separation last week against the Eagles.
And I'm sure he can't believe what he's seen here this afternoon, because talking to him before the game, he was very optimistic.
Laufenberg's got Novacek wide open for the touchdown. 27-yard strike. There's that feast or famine you were talking about, Hank.
Yeah, that's the all-out blitz, see, and you got to keep throwing that ball up on top, because you're going to get some big plays. You're not going to do it taking the bus, trying to run the football. Here's the way Babe saw it. Good lead, perfectly thrown ball right over the top. Touchdown. Look at Laufenberg right about there. He threw the ball and he still got a massage in the back. And it looked like Jordan, the safety, was licked on that play. Number 40.
The extra point is up and good. And that makes it a 26-7 game. Novacek came into this game as the leading receiver in the NFC among tight ends, and yet that was his first catch of the day. They really never looked for him.
No, never had a chance. And of course, he was in tight most of the time, where he never gets a chance to get a free release from that position. The way they were playing and overloading the defense.
Coming up next here on CBS, as Jay Novacek is congratulated by Cliff Stout. A big one for the Seattle Seahawks. Still in the running for that wild card berth in the AFC, and the Lions, who've been playing well down through the stretch. And Barry Sanders. What do you think about that race between Sanders and Thurman Thomas of the Bills?
Well, they're both great backs. I think Sanders, I don't think without a doubt, I think without a doubt, I should say, is the finest back in the National Football League. He's tremendous. You talk about making the sparks fly. He does that. I think the Detroit Lions are a little bit like Atlanta, like the Atlanta team we're seeing here this afternoon. They're playing with a lot of animation, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of motivation. They're executing well, and they're doing a terrifically outstanding job. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win here this afternoon.
Well, the Cowboys will obviously go for the onside kick here. With 2:35 to play, and they trail by 19. Caught immediately by Michael Haynes, a wide receiver who was in there, and he picked it up on a couple of bounces. The ball will belong to the Falcons. Just one of a few things that haven't gone right for that rookie kicker here today. He missed a pair of short field goals from 34 and later on from 33 yards. They haven't played well here today, but what a job Jimmy Johnson has done with these Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly right. You know, they're disappointed in what happened here this afternoon, but you still have to be realistic and assess the whole season. For him to have the kind of a year they've had is a remarkable turnaround after only winning one game last year and winning as many as he did here this year. Why, it's a great compliment to his coaches and his players and his whole football team, and I think they have something to hang their hat on and look forward to in 1991.
Reserve Mike Pringle, a rookie out of Cal State Fullerton, gets his first carry of the day. As Danny Noonan and Tony Tolbert combine on the staff. And with all the draft choices they have ahead of them and all the Plan B acquisitions they continue to make, the Cowboys' future indeed looks very bright. We have reached the 2-minute warning here at Atlanta with our score: the Falcons 26 and the Dallas Cowboys but 7.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back. They say you get what you pay for. At McDonald's, we insist on it. For your good money, you'll find just one offering here. Good food. McDonald's. Always good food, always good value.
Pontiac Grand Am. The best-selling compact in America can now be leased for only $199 a month. The 1991 Grand Am LE, driving excitement made easy, with an automatic transmission, air conditioning, stereo cassette, and no down payment. This may be the best time to experience the thrill of a 91 Grand Am for yourself. But don't wait too long. This is a limited offer, and at only $199 a month, they'll be moving fast.
Well, don't forget tonight on CBS, why would the mob hire a hitman to do away with Cousin Rose? Not just any Cousin Rose, a Mafia Don's Cousin Rose. Well, you guessed it, money. 60 Minutes tonight. Then it's Murder, She Wrote, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Vestige of Honor, starring Gerald McRaney and Michael Gross. 2 minutes remain in this one in Atlanta. Sold-out crowd was on hand, but they've headed for the interstate. The Falcons continue to pound it on the ground with John Settle getting the call.
It's nice to have Maurice Spencer up here at the booth with us this afternoon, wasn't it? Did a good job of helping us with the numbers and people and the defenses and all the things he did here this afternoon. We enjoyed it very much.
Former cornerback for you with the New Orleans Saints.
You know, one thing we have to mention too, Jim, is the fact that Jerry Glanville and his family really had a tough time this week. His wife Brenda was rushed to the hospital because of internal bleeding on Wednesday. She had to have some transfusions, and Jerry had to leave the field during practice, couldn't come back, gave her a blood transfusion. She's resting comfortably at home now, but she still has a long way to go, and we hope that she recovers quickly and the problem is resolved here very soon.
Settle again on the carry. In fact, Robert Lyles and Mike Rozier, a pair of former Oilers under Glanville, donated their blood, did they not?
Yes, they did. They wanted to. Whether they did or not, I don't know, very frankly, Jim, but they offered to.
And it's going to be a happy ending to the season for Jerry Glanville, it would appear, after his team broke that 7-game losing streak last week against the Rams. They have continued to play well, and it looks like win here today. Miami a winner over the Colts as the Dolphins get ready for the playoffs. As you check out the scores around the NFL today. Fourth and 4. Settle will be stopped short by a host of Cowboys, and Dallas will have the football, but just 16 seconds remain, and now they must look to the Los Angeles Rams to provide a victory over the New Orleans Saints tomorrow night, a victory that they could not provide themselves here today over the Falcons, to gain the NFC playoffs as the final wild card team. They won't run another play. And in New Orleans, where they celebrate Groundhog Day and everything else, they're celebrating for the moment in anticipation of the game with the Rams tomorrow night.
Be a hot time in New Orleans tonight.
Well, the Cowboys will come up and run another play, it would appear. 16 seconds, all that are left on the clock for Dallas and Babe Laufenberg. Gerald Johnston will get his first carry up to the 49-yard line, and that will do it. The Cowboys show no inclination to stop the clock, and the Falcons have closed this season with a victory. Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Glanville bid goodbye for another season. So for Hank Stram and Leslie Visser, this is Jim Henderson saying so long from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where our final score is the Atlanta Falcons 26 and the Dallas Cowboys 7. Stay tuned for game 2 of our doubleheader, as most of you will see the Detroit Lions meeting the Seattle Seahawks. Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, CBS Sports presents the John Hancock Bowl. The USC Trojans will battle the Michigan State Spartans live from El Paso, Texas. Then on New Year's Day, CBS Sports presents the 55th Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic live from Dallas at 1:30 Eastern. 4th-ranked Miami clashes with 3rd-ranked Texas. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.